Chester, the only brawler in the game that can release a nuclear explosion at the enemy team. And I'm not even joking. There's like a mushroom cloud and they take poison damage after the explosion. That's a nuke. Like they're not even trying to hide it. So today we'll be learning everything about Chester. Attack, super, gadgets, hypercharge, star powers, gears, you know, everything you need to know to be a good player. If you enjoyed this video or if it helps you a little bit, don't forget to like it, man, please. My last meal was like a pack of burritos that I found in a trash can. Chester is a legendary damage dealer. He has 7,600 points of health and a fast movement speed. He's capable of both long and close range combat, and he's like a really popular brawler, just like Fang, Mortis, Spike, and etc. because he's really easy to play and can cause a lot of trouble to any brawler. His special trait is that his super is randomized. In every new match, you start with a different super, and every time he gets defeated, his super is going to change. He has 5 different supers, so it's like an 80% chance of getting a different super and a 20% chance of keeping whatever you got. Chester attack is named Cap and Bells. He shots a single bell that causes 1,340 damage at the enemy, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and basically the more he shoots, the more damage he causes, and it gets easier to hit more enemies. Chester is a really popular brawler because his attack is legit really strong. You cause a lot of damage in close range and you never miss at long range. The first hit causes 1,340 damage as I had said before, and the second attack doubles that and goes to 2,680 damage. The third attack goes up to 4,020, and the last one maximizes the damage at 5,360 points of damage. By using his 3 best attacks, he can cause up to 12,000 points of damage at close range. That is no joke, man, like no pun intended because he's a joker and stuff. It's crazy, dude. His reload speed is normal, so it's kind of balances out a little bit, but still, like the only weakness that Cap and Bells have is that the first attack has low damage and it's pretty hard to hit. But they literally put a whole star power to remove this weakness, so we're gonna check that later, but yeah, pretty much one weakness and it's not even that much of a weakness. Chester has 5 supers: Candy Popper, Jawbreaker, Salmiakki, Pop Rocks, and Strong Mint. We're going to check every single one of them, but first, remember that Chester's supers take 6 bell hits to charge, and each super that you hit will also recharge the next super, but some recharge it a lot, and some it's like you didn't even hit it. Candy Popper is Chester's best super. He throws an exploding candy bag over walls that causes 3,760 area damage. He pushes the enemy away and can destroy walls. Destroying walls is pretty much the most important thing about his super, because it makes Chester able to deal with throwers without the usual suffering. It is also really good to open the enemy goal and punish them when they are too close. It also charges a decent amount of super just by hitting one enemy, and if you manage to hit like 2 or 3 enemies, you pretty much get another super for free. Jawbreaker is a stun super. He shots a single candy, even though it doesn't look like a candy to me. It has a little bit more range than a normal attack, causes 400 points of damage, and it stuns the enemy for 1 second. Jawbreaker used to be like his best super like way back in time because it stunned enemies for 3 seconds, so you could pretty much use it on long range brawlers to get close and eliminate them. Nowadays, with only 1 second, his best use is on close range brawlers, so you use it when you get rushed by a bow or a BB, or when the enemy is already close to you. And if you're facing like only long range brawlers like snipers, you're probably better switching to another one. It also barely charges a super, so yeah, it's not really the best one nowadays. Salmiakki is Chester mid-range super. He sprays enemy brawlers with a cone of salty Salmiakki powder, which causes poison damage for 7 seconds. The total damage is 4,640 damage. The super has the best damage output, and it's really good at keeping the enemy away from battle because the poison negates healing for 7 seconds. Normally hitting this super and 2 or 3 attacks always guarantees a kill. The bad thing about the super is that the enemy needs to be at close range, but besides that, it's one of the best, and it charges half your super if the enemy survives it. Pop Rocks is Chester's worst super. He sprinkles crackling pop rocks on the ground. It's basically a Spike super, but 10 times worse because he cannot throw it. Normally you can hide behind a wall and use it when the enemy gets too close, or you can keep it as a safe counter to El Primo, Jackie, or any type of close range brawlers, but yeah, besides that, it's not really that good. It lasts 10 seconds and causes 320 points of damage. It's basically 3,200 damage if the enemy stays there for 10 seconds, which is something that probably will never happen. And even if the enemy stays there for 10 seconds, it's also really terrible at recharging your super. And finally we have Strong Mint. Chester eats a refreshing mint that heals 1,600 points of HP for 3 seconds, reaching a total of 4,800 HP, and there's basically no secret about this. Just like BB's healing gadget, you're going to use it when you decide to rush the enemy team, or when you're getting pressured and you need to get like rid of a brawler, but besides that, you're better off just changing for another super, and it also just doesn't recharge your super at all. Chester gadgets have like a unique thing about them. They're all about the let's go gambling me. Spicy Dice is Chester's first gadget. It is really simple, it changes Chester's super. If you get a bad super like Pop Rocks, just press it and get something that is actually useful. Or you can have bad luck and get something like Strong Mint. Either way, it's a pretty decent gadget. When you need to do something important, like if you're facing a thrower, you will need to get Candy Popper as fast as possible, and that's where Spicy Dice shines. And you cannot get a repeated super, so it's always a new one. Candy Beans. This is where the gambling addiction really shines. Chester eats a Mr. Flavor candy bean and gets a random buff for 5 seconds. Here's the list of possible buffs. 25% damage increase to every attack and super, a 3 times boost to Chester reload speed, a 420 health per second buff that heals like a total of 2100 points, and a 20% speed boost to his movement speed. They're all great buffs, but here's the catch. You cannot choose. So sometimes you get like 3 speed boosts in sequence, and sometimes you get the heal buff when you're like at max health, and that's the fun part, man. Let's go gambling. These are both good gadgets for Chester. It comes more to preference when you need to choose between them. Do you like to change your super to get like the best one that cause more damage, or do you prefer to get like some random buffs to improve your gameplay? I like Spicy Dice more, but that's because I just like to break walls because it makes it easier to hit brawlers. But besides that, you can choose, man. Single Battle Mania is a pretty simple star power. It boosts the damage of the first bell Chester shoots by 50%, going from 1240 damage to 2010. It exists to make Chester weakness less of a weakness. It's not even a good star power, but it's massively used because the other one it just manages to be even worse. Sneak Peek lets you see what your next super is going to be, and that's it. There's like no extra damage, no healing, no buff, it's just information. Like, yeah, knowing if you're going to get like a good or bad super is useful because you can plan like your next move, but in reality it doesn't change that much. The star power is always treated like complete trash, but I don't know, man, I kind of like it though. I know it's not good, but yeah, just use the first one. It's not amazing, but at least it does something, right? Chester's Hypercharge is crunchy, chewy, and gooey. When Chester activates his Hypercharge, he gets the usual buffs: 20% speed, 5% damage, and a 5% shield. But the real thing is what happens to his super. Basically, it's a fusion between Candy Popper, Samiyaki, and Pop Rocks. When you activate your Hypercharge, your super icon will instantly turn into an explosion icon, and when you throw it, the Candy Popper will blow, and Samiyaki will fly in 8 different directions, and also Pop Rocks will spawn in the middle. And yeah, I just needed a whole Hypercharge to be able to throw it, huh, Chester? Really good, man. As usual, Pop Rocks doesn't matter too much. It's good to have it, but it lasts for only 4 seconds, so yeah, not really good. But the explosion combined with the Samiyaki is a deadly combination. Like 90% of the brawlers guarantee death. Usually only heavy tanks will be able to survive it, but they will be defeated anyway when you hit 1 or 2 attacks after. Of course, when you decide to use it, you should be aiming to hit like the whole enemy team, because it's really easy to hit and causes massive damage. So try to hold it a little bit for a good opportunity. The total damage is 11,264 if the enemy decides to stay still in the Pop Rock, but nobody with a brain will ever do that. During the 5 seconds you can use as many supers as you like, so if you release your super and attack like a Frank or an El Primo, you will probably be able to reload a second one. You can also combo your gadget Candy Beans to try to get like a damage buff right before you release your Hypercharge, but that's a certified let's go gambling moment, because you're gonna probably just get some healing buff and then you're gonna miss your enemies. But hey, if you get it, it's like a 20% damage buff. It's totally worth it. There's no secret about gears, it's damage and shield. They really should rework on gears or just remove them, because it's getting boring having to say damage and shield in every goddamn video. The best loadout for Chester is his first star power. Both gadgets are fine, but if you're facing throwers, always go with the first one. And don't forget the damage and shield gears, and boom, there you go, a perfect Chester. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend and like the video, you know, that stuff. But that's it. Bye bye.